That's a good question. So I have learned a lot about management and agents in the last couple of years. I have been closings manager for the last, 2 or 3 years, and really in the last like year and a half have I really been like really acting as a manager. Um, I would say the first rule for even just having a manager and agent is you really want somebody at first. I think that's really close to you as a friend, and that's going to look out for your best interests. If in terms of the financial viability of it, most agents, most managers will take somewhere in the range of 10 to 15%. So if you're booking $300 gigs, it's not a very good deal for that agent to be making $30. So you really kind of have to build yourself up and be making enough money to where and be playing enough shows to where it really makes sense. And another part of that is just because you have a manager and you have an agent does not mean you can then take your eye off the ball and be like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It actually becomes more work because then like you are always going to be the CEO of your brand, of your project. And I know that there's artists out there that have great managers and they probably don't. They're not as active in their project in that way as they once were, but that's kind of way down the road. I think you have to stay so involved and so understand and learning each part of the business in terms of licensing and publishing and bookings and the structure of all that stuff. Like you should really understand those things inside and out, even if you do have a manager and agent, because it's your business, it's your career. And so I've seen people have managers and agents and they were not managing their manager and they were not managing their agent, and things went very badly because they just assumed that those people were going to take care of it. So I think having someone that's your friend or very close is probably more valuable than having someone that knows the business inside and out and has every contact. That's sort of at the early stages. As you get bigger, I think it does become more important to have an agent that is super connected at that level of, okay, I really want to tour the US. Okay, well, you should be with a really big agency or an agency that has all the connections for those festivals and clubs and really understands the landscape of that. For a manager, I think it's possible to grow with them. So I guess the question of when do you bring that on is it's kind of when the opportunity arises and when it makes sense financially. They may want to invest in you and say, okay, that's fine. I don't care. I would even do it for free. I love the music you make. I really want to help you. That happens a lot. But at some point it does, if you want that person to really be working for you full time, you do have to be making it financially worth it for them. So, at the 10 or 15% level, that's, you're going to be making a pretty good living in order for them to make a decent, even somewhat of a decent living. I guess another way of approaching finding a manager or finding an agent is, at that point where you probably do need a manager and agent, you should also have friends or colleagues that are sort of at your level, where you can talk to them. Who's your manager? Who's your agent? And I would ask around, sort of crowdsource your crew or the people that you respect in the industry as well, and see who they're working with and see who's doing a good job for them or who's not doing a good job for them. So yeah, you got to be careful because, again, it's your business. And so at the end of the day, it's your name up on the marquee, so to speak. So if such and such manager or such and such agent is a hothead or burns bridges or whatever, they're really going to follow you around for a long time. So, having someone with integrity that you can trust, that lives by their word and is out for your best interests, those are the paramount reasons or, qualities to look for in someone as a manager and agent.